Good evening, guys. So today I want to speak on the issues and the difficulties that we find in our daily lives when it comes to letting go of certain habits. And the habit I'm going to be emphasizing on this evening is actually listening to carnal music. I know a lot of people might not like this video because of the point I'm trying to make, and because of the topic I'm trying to expatiate on. So it's about giving away the habit of listening to carnal music, giving up on listening to carnal music. And there was this difficulty that I faced. I also faced the same challenge, and I'm still battling with this same challenge even till date, because it is something that each and every day we fight, each and every day we battle against all those challenges, because they are habits that we have already been attached to. They are habits that we've gotten used to, that in a way became part of us, and we are struggling to let go of. So I will give a story, and this story is based on my own experience from when I started listening to carnal music and when I decided to let it go, and how I was able to let it go. Even up to today, I'm still struggling with letting go completely of carnal music, because I actually don't really listen to carnal music. I don't have any on my phone. The only thing is that sometimes, due to maybe TikTok or YouTube or Facebook, along the way you listen to it, and because of the vibe, you just see one kind of mad vibe, one kind of mad beat that you just enter, and then the next thing you find yourself singing the song or humming to the song, maybe when you are bathing or something like that. And it's like subconsciously you find yourself singing the song, and you'll be trying to let go of it. So what I usually do at that point is that I begin to counter it by trying to sing a gospel song. I put a worship song or a praise song in my head, and I begin to sing it. So that's what I usually do. So I will give a backstory, a throwback to when I was in secondary school. My life growing up, I grew up in a Christian home, from a Christian foundation, Christian background. So I thank God that I was fortunate to grow from a Christian background. There are some that were unfortunate. They grew up from a background that maybe their parents did not even care about anything related to the kingdom. Their parents did not even have idea. Their parents were just living a reckless life, and they grew up also into that kind of lifestyle. You don't blame them. We only thank God that we were fortunate, and that's the reason why we are also putting out the word there, because we were saved. We're fortunate to be born into it. Some also were born into it, but probably because of they allow the cares of life and the pressures of life to draw them away from the way of Christ. So we can see that a lot of people it might be the case of ignorance, and some it might be the case of struggles that made them to give up on their walk with Christ, their walk with God. So that we are fortunate that we grew up in a Christian background, where every day my parents are always giving me advice, always preaching to me, telling me that do this, don't do this, make sure that you pray, make sure you pray before you sleep, make sure you read your Bible, make sure you do this, do not relent on praying, pray for your parents, pray for your siblings, all those kind of stuff. So back then when I was in secondary school, I didn't really have interest in music. I wasn't really that interested in music. And another thing I wasn't interested in was soccer, football. I didn't really watch football, but up to today I so much love movies. I was a movie freak back then. So even when it comes to movies, I'm there. But I wasn't really a fan of football. And my elder brother was obsessed with football. But when I was reaching the peak of my secondary school, that's my senior secondary school, when I was getting to SS2, that's when the pressure began to get very much, because at that point you are reaching the peak of your life like the peak of your school days, and a lot of junior students are looking up to you, the seniors, like they are feeling you guys now are not feeling fresh. So the pressure now becomes much, because at that point you don't want to be left out. You want to be among your peers. You guys now, where everybody they are feeling themselves, everybody is dripping. As far now we're SS2, we're getting to SS3, we soon become prefects, we soon be the ones running the school, because I did a boarding school, so I know how the lifestyle was very nice. So at that point I found out that when my mates are gisting about football, I can be gisting about everything, I'll be participating, you hear my voice very loud. But when they begin to argue about football, that's when you won't even hear my voice at all. Like, I'll find a way to sneak out of that place, I'll find a way to disappear, because I don't even have any idea. If you look at me, you know that I don't have any idea about football. I was just there. In fact, the interest I had in football, the small interest I had in football later on was because of my elder brother. So football, I wasn't really bothered about the pressure of football. That's because I didn't really have that interest. But you see, music is like food to the soul. Music has a way that it influences your soul. Music has a kind of power that affects your spirit. Like it can drive your spirit. Do you understand? Music has a way that can drive your spirit. It can change your mood. It can change your emotions. It can change the way you think. It can change the way you relate to people. Music has a way to influence your character. That's what music does. You remember I'll give an example. Remember the story of David, when God inflicted Saul with a kind of insanity, where Saul was losing his mind. He heard of a boy, a young shepherd that could play the harp, who could sing. So he asked them to call David. And David was a shepherd boy. And David came. Whenever David played the harp, the melody of the harp, because of the sincerity of the music of David, it made Saul's mind to be calm. That was the only point in Saul's, like within Saul's existence. It was when David was playing his harp. That was the only time that Saul felt like himself, that his mind was calm and he could think, that his mind could be at rest. So that is the power of music, and that is why God so much loves worship. He loves our worship. He loves our praise. Worship songs have a way to influence the soul. It has a way to charge the spirit. It has a way to drive the spirit to realms, especially when you're praying. Have you ever noticed that the atmosphere feels different when there's a spiritual sound? There's a spiritual sound that is backing your prayer. You find that the atmosphere is charged, and the atmosphere is different. So what I'm trying to say is that back then, music now started to. I started to have a little drive for music, but it wasn't that I was so much like music. I didn't like music. I was not really interested in music. But then, because music was something that at least it could pique my interest. So when the pressure of being in a clique, being a senior boy, you understand, the senior boys in the school, the most seniors, where your mates, now when SS3 boys, we are working, we don't work one, we work in pairs, we work in clique, we work in like a squad. You get that kind of thing, we work in squad. So our juniors will be feeling us. So during like variety nights or socials like this, that's when we play all this Carnal music, all this Nigerian Afro beats and the rest, all this Jagaban. That was on my time then. Jagaban, what's Omar Alaji, all those songs that year. When we were doing socials, my guys, my classmates, the boys, all of us will sit at one table like this when they are playing the music loud on the speakers on the social. You see my classmates will be following the music, word to word, everybody. So the thing that makes us that makes junior students feel us is when they hear seniors like singing following the music back to back at the back of the hall, because we're always sitting at the back of the hall as SS3 students that time. So it's when they see SS3 boys are just shouting at the back, singing the music, everybody be hyped, they be like, SS3 boys. You know how all these junior boys want to be like us now, that kind of thing. So I would not see my classmates singing, but because I didn't have any knowledge of all those musics, all those kind of music, I did not know how to follow along, so I would just be chopping mouth. Or I'll just be laughing and I'll just be raising hand and be hyping them like that kind of thing, so that I'll feel at home. So the pressure started becoming too much. And along the way, that was how I now got into listening to Carnal music. Because I wanted to feel among. And I decided whenever I go back home, I would now start listening to, I'll start putting all these MTV beats, trying to put all this trace music and the rest. That was when I now started initiating myself into initiating the habit of listening to music. And I became obsessed with listening to Nigerian music, to all these Afrobeat, all these Carnal songs. Because they're not really saying anything reasonable. Most of them are either talking about Nyash, or talking about breast, or talking about waist, or talking about, they'll be saying love. They'll be talking about love, but the only thing that they are using to itemize their love is sexual immorality. So these were the only things that they were talking about in the songs. So I found that these songs were actually sticking into my head and affecting my character. They were affecting me as a person, making me to see things based on what I was listening to in this music. And the thing I observed with myself is that it was very difficult to pressure me to do something, because of my foundation, my background as a Christian, because of the foundation that my parents laid for me. The Bible tells us that it says parents should train their children the way that they should go, so that when they grow up, they will not depart from it. That's a very, very strong instruction from the Bible, because it actually works. You see, as a parent, when you teach your children in a certain way from the young age, you have laid the foundation for them. It does not mean that the children are void of their own decisions or their own choices when they grow up. It's just that when they grow up, you have built in them a conscience, a foundation that becomes like a conscience in their soul. That when they want to sway from it, there's something that is restricting them. There's something that is holding them back, that is pulling them back from going into that kind, from straying away from that foundation, from that background that you have placed them into. So that was exactly what was happening to me. Because I grew up from my parents. My dad was telling me, don't follow friends to drink, don't smoke, don't ever indulge yourself in smoking. Focus on your books. Don't go and be following girls in school. Don't follow your friends to do bad things. Don't do, you understand, those kind of instructions. And then we always do devotions, and those devotions, although my dad likes to gist, likes to tell stories. So he uses those devotions to tell a lot of stories. He gives us the message, he passes the message to us. So that was the foundation I had. So I found that it was very difficult for me to do most of those things, or for me to be influenced. But then it did not mean that it was impossible. So I was not really influenced in school when it came to sexual things and all that, because I never followed my friends to do that. In fact, I never had some of my sisters when I was in church. She used to insult me because my babe, because I had a girlfriend at that time, Majesty. The girl fine, she makes sense, she's a black beauty. My sisters that I'm insulting, I don't have sense. I see this girl that she packaged, she said like this, I no go press her, I no go tap current, I no go do this one, I'm just dulling myself. And but that pressure never got to me. You get, I was this kind of person that it was not just part of my life. It was not my lifestyle. There was something that was restricting me, that was stopping me from doing those kind of things, from indulging in those kind of acts. So I grew up that way in secondary school during my teenage years. During the time that your body is vibrant, your emotions are all over the place. But I was able to stay sane. I was able to stay myself. But one thing that influenced me was music. How? The sexual aspect didn't really influence me. The other aspects did not really influence me. Drinking, because I saw my friends drinking, I saw them doing all sorts of things. But those things didn't influence me. But why was it that music was one of the things that could get me? The pressure came too much that I succumbed to listening to indulging in carnal music. And why I call it carnal is because these are music that glorify the devil. They are music that glorify things that are not of God. We have secular music. Secular music are music that neither glorify God nor glorify the devil. The music like birthday songs, anthem, like national anthem or something like those kind of music. So they are not promoting the things of the devil. They are not promoting the things of God either. So those are secular. But carnal are music that promote the things of the kingdom of darkness, like sexual immorality and a lot of stuff like that. So I started listening to music, to carnal music, and then it became part of me. So when I graduated secondary school, it was still part of me. There's no song that just come out. There's no song that just come out that year that I won't know. I listen to music and I'll be listening to it over and over. In my own private time, I'll be dancing to the music. So along the way, when I was doing my IT, that time I came to Abuja to do my IT, so I was staying with my auntie at the time. So during my IT, there was this guy. He was we were doing IT together, but we were not in the same school. He was from Polytech, Puli Nasarawa, as in Nasarawa Polytechnic. Me, I was from Carnal Polytechnic. So we were doing IT at the time together. So this guy, in a way, was my friend. So he observed that I was always listening to those kind of music, and he asked me, he said that, are you not a child of God? Are you a Christian? I said yes. So he now started telling me that don't I know that this kind of music, that they don't glorify God, I should try and change the kind of music that I listen to. But when he told me this thing, I picked offense. I was annoyed. In my mind, I was like, doesn't this guy know that me too, I'm a Christian? You get now, that kind of thing. We're trying to justify ourselves. So because I observed that Christians don't like to be corrected. Yes, I'm telling you. If you're a Christian and listening to me, a lot of Christians don't like to be corrected. They feel like that person is feeling more holy than them. But the truth is that in the place of the kingdom, that is in the sequence of the kingdom, in the school of the kingdom, there are people that are also above you. There are people that have attained certain height, even beyond, like they have attained certain height above you. So they have seen some kind of things, they have experienced some kind of things, they have reached a level of intimacy with God that is beyond the level that you have attained. So they are in the place, they have experienced that thing that you are experiencing, and they are in the right position to tell you that this thing, it will affect you. So a lot of us, we think that they are judging us, but we don't know that they are being corrected. So we have twisted the meaning of judgment and correction. You can be corrected as a Christian. Forget that you're a Christian. Yes, you're a Christian. Some people just bear Christianity as a name. They don't actually know the true value or the true meaning of being a Christian. So when the guy told me like that, I first picked offense. But then later on, in my soul, I began to think. My spirit, I began to think that, but this thing that this guy said is true. This thing this guy said, there is some truth in it. Let me not lie to myself. Let me not lie to myself. There is truth in this thing that this guy said. So I now began to think. I began to meditate to myself. Why do I listen to this music? Before I was not like that. I don't listen to all this music. Then I got initiated. The pressure became much when I was in secondary school. And then it became part of me. So I now said, okay, I'll try to stop. And I dare I whine myself. I dare I deceive myself. It was almost impossible. Sometimes when I sit down, I'll be like, how is it that I'm not listening to Manya by Whiskey? Because that was the song that was reading that I was always repeating it. How won't I listen to Manya by Whiskey and dance? How won't I listen to Run Town? I started thinking within myself. I found it very difficult to stop. That's when I now understood that the carnal music had taken a hold of me. It had taken a hold of my spirit, of my soul. That's one thing that a lot of us don't want to accept, but it's the truth. It is the truth. It is easier for you to say to let go of listening to gospel music than for you to let go of listening to carnal music. Yes, I'm telling you right now, that is what I faced. Now I listen to a lot of gospel music. I now started to know a lot of gospel artists, but before I didn't even know them. The only gospel artists I knew were Son Langi, and then maybe all those Frank Edwards, then Steve Crowns, all those ones that were popular at that time. But I didn't know plenty. I didn't know a lot. But if you ask me, worldly musicians, all those our Nigerian musicians, I could mention for almost all of them. I knew them plenty. I knew their music. So I found that it was so difficult to let go. Sorry, this video is going to be long. I don't have uploading it, so it's going to be a long video. So I understood that it was very difficult to let go of this kind of music. I tried. I even tried deleting them. Do you know that deleting music that you have, kind of music that you have on your phone, is more difficult than any other thing? It's more difficult than even deleting movie that you downloaded on your phone. Very, very difficult. That was what I faced. That was what I passed through. That was when I now understood what this guy was trying to tell me. That was when I now understood the hold that this music had upon me. I tried. I couldn't delete it. I tried to stop for a few days. It was weighing down on me that I need to listen to this music. How would I do without music? Because music was my safe space. Music was one part of my life that I used to escape some kind of realities, to escape the thoughts of some kind of hardship, some kind of things I was going through at that time. Music was one of my escape. But at this point, I was fighting against listening to those kind of music. It was weighing down on me. It was difficult. It was hard. So I want to just try and cut this long story short. It took time. I went back to the music. I went back to listening to the carnal music. I couldn't delete them. I started trying to download gospel music, but I didn't even know gospel artists. I started looking for gospel artists, trying to download gospel music, but it still could not overshadow the carnal music that I had, because I found myself not even listening to the gospel music that I downloaded, but going back to the carnal music. So I found it as it was almost impossible to stop listening to the music, to carnal music, and then it took a while for me to stop. It took for them. I would say that it's God that made this thing happen, but it happened. It happened to be that they stole my phone. I knew that I could not delete the carnal music that I had, so it took for them to have stolen my phone for me to try and let go of them. So what I told myself when they stole my phone, I said maybe it is God's will that they have taken my phone. So what I would do, since it was very difficult for me to delete this carnal music that I had on my phone, why not when I get a new phone, I won't even download any at all. Even if I see them, I will not download any. So that was what I said to myself, and that's what I decided to do. But it took a while, and I got tempted again by the music, because you hear it everywhere that you go to. You hear it on TikTok, especially on the TikTok and the rest, that they are the ones. In fact, they are the ones that used to see us a lot. They are the ones that you'll be hearing. I'm not trying to spoil their marketing, because even if I say these things, they will still bloom. They will still market, because the devil has a lot of work. He has a lot of workmen. He has a lot of soldiers on this earth. That even if a lot of us go to Christ, there will still be plenty sheep that will be there for the devil to use. So I'm just saying this to explain the influence of carnal music in the life of a Christian. It is very, very heavy. The same way that the music is somehow like a medicine to the soul. Music is somehow like it has spiritual impact on the soul. Sometimes we don't know the kind of influence that music have on us. We don't know the kind of influence music have in our lives. Gospel music, they generate a very great impact in our life. they give us the drive to pray, even though the grace to pray comes from God. But the music gives us the gospel music gives us a kind of drive to pray. Meanwhile, carnal music gives us a drive to do the things that we hear in the music. Like how we'll be talking about these sexual things in the music. We don't know that it's influencing our mindset, it's influencing our thoughts, it's influencing our actions, it's influencing the way we see life, the way we see things, the way we see women, the way we itemize women because of the words that this music carry. So I tried to stop listening to carnal music when my phone was stolen. I refused to download any again, and that's how my journey started off, doing away with carnal music. But then it wasn't so easy. I still went back to it again. I still went back to start downloading them again. Then they stole my phone again. They have stolen my phone multiple times, so that you guys understand. They stole my phone again. I'm not making up this story. Honestly, they stole my phone again. Then this time I made up my mind. Although with the help of my brother, that is also very influential. Let me not say influential, but his growth in the body of Christ is very, very strong. His passion for Christ is very strong. He was one that helped me whenever we are gisting, whenever we are talking and sharing ideas. He's always speaking about kingdom things and always saying all those things to me. Those were the things that gave me morale, that gave me motivation, that influenced my decisions. And then I decided to take it serious, and I completely let go of even downloading. I don't download. I completely let go of downloading. That was after I got a new phone. After the second time they stole my phone, I completely stopped downloading carnal music. I started downloading gospel music. Then that was when I started doing more gospel artists. Then I decided to now, because I found that he was using Spotify. At that time, I wasn't intrigued by Spotify. But I now saw that Spotify is actually good. Why not, instead of looking for how I'll be downloading music, let me just get Spotify. So I'll be streaming the music. So then I now have all my follows on Spotify, all the suggestions that I give, the music I'm interested in, all of them are gospel. All of them. So any suggestion that Spotify gives me, they are gospel artists. And that was also a way to build my knowledge on gospel artists. And then also with the help of my church, the church I'm going to, which is Holy Hill, by the way. Holy Hill at Lokukuma. Holy Hill Lokukuma in Abuja. That church also built my interest in gospel music and in the things of the kingdom and prayer and all that. So these were the things that helped me and transformed my life from being held captive or being in bondage by carnal music. So I admonish all of you guys that if you are in this form of bondage, ask the grace of God. And if you have friends that can influence your life in the right way, friends that are also burning for the kingdom, that will be of help to you, let them also help you to stand strong. Because it's not easy. I will tell you the truth. It's not easy to let go of carnal music. It has a kind of influence, a very strong hold on your life. Carnal music, yes, it does. And I'm saying this out of experience because I know what I went through in order to let go of carnal music. Even up to today, I will not lie, I'm still fighting it. Up to today, I'm still fighting it, because once in a while, I find myself going back to be searching for some of this music because of the vibe. So I'm still fighting it. It's still a war. I'm still fighting it. It's not easy. I'm telling you, it's easier to let go of gospel music than to let go of carnal music. Honestly, to let go of gospel music, there's nothing there safe. Very, very easy. But see, carnal music, it has a kind of hold on you, on your life. So I believe that I've left you guys with a word of wisdom, and I believe that God will help you and give you the grace as well to let go of this and also to overcome as well. Be blessed.